How do you possibly pack enough drama into just 15 seconds to make something go viral? Well, we're going to break down a promo clip for a show called Radd that did exactly that. They used just a few perfectly crafted lines to build some serious suspense. So we're actually starting at the very end with the clip's knockout punch. This is the one line that just stops you in your tracks and makes you go, wait, what? By looking at this first, you'll see just how brilliantly the writers built up all that tension to get us right to this moment. And this is the big question, isn't it? The central mystery the promo wants you to solve. It just drops this bombshell and leaves you hanging, thinking, how on earth did we get here? So let's do it. Let's rewind and break this whole thing down, piece by piece. All right, so let's jump back to the beginning of the clip. This is where the whole dramatic arc is set in motion. But what's really interesting is that the tension doesn't start with a big fight or some loud argument. Nope, it starts with something way more subtle, a very strange entrance. Right away, the dialogue signals that something is just off. I mean, you're expecting joy and celebration, right? It's a wedding. But instead, the first emotion you hear is pure confusion. And as a viewer, you're right there with the guests in the scene. You know instantly that the rulebook has just been thrown out the window. Now, here's what's really cool. The script actually weaponizes the absence of tradition. Think about that. The tension isn't built on what's happening, but on what isn't happening. And that is such a clever way to create this feeling of unease. And it's so effective because it plays against everything we expect. We all know a bride's entrance is supposed to be this huge spectacle of joy and tradition, a moment of blessing and community support. This promo completely subverts that, and that's exactly where the drama comes from. And here are the specific customs that are so obviously missing. There are no flowers or rice for blessings, and maybe most telling of all, no friends or sisters by her side. Her entire support system is just gone. Every single missing piece is like another giant red flag. So you get it, right? The crucial point here is that this is not just a bride having a bad day or a poorly planned entrance. The fact that these joyful traditions were deliberately stripped away sends a very clear, unspoken message. This isn't a celebration, it's a confrontation. So with all this tension simmering because of the broken traditions, the scene makes a hard pivot. The unspoken finally becomes spoken, and one powerful declaration changes everything in an instant. Suddenly, a new voice just cuts through all the confusion. We don't know who this person is. Maybe it's the bride herself, maybe a family member, but their tone is decisive. They are here to deliver a verdict, and everyone is about to hear it. And wow, what a verdict it is. This is a stunning command. It escalates the whole situation from an awkward, confusing moment into a full-blown crisis. I mean, you don't just ask wedding guests to leave. That's like dropping an absolute social grenade. The strange entrance, the missing traditions, the command to leave, it's all just hanging there in the air, building to one final devastating explanation. And there it is. We've come full circle, right back to that line from the beginning. But now it lands with the full weight of everything we've just seen. It's no longer just some shocking statement. It feels like the inevitable, dramatic conclusion to a rebellion that started the moment the bride walked in. So what's the big takeaway from this little masterclass in building suspense? It's not just about what was said, but how it was all structured to have the biggest possible impact on us, the viewer, in just a few seconds. The writers used a simple but incredibly effective structure here. First, they hit you with the shocking climax. The wedding is off. Then, they make you deconstruct the problem by showing you all the things that are wrong. And finally, after building all that tension, they deliver the final, decisive blow. And that's really the genius of it. This promo isn't just telling you a story. It's handing you the pieces of a puzzle. The entire purpose is to transform your initial confusion into an intense curiosity. It's smart, It respects the audience enough to let them connect the dots. And this is where it leaves us. It perfectly sets up the one question that really matters. Why? The promo gives you just enough to get you hooked, but holds back the real story to make sure you have to tune in. And that's not just good marketing. That is brilliant storytelling.